Hi, Ben Cummings here. Today we're going to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about kinematic sequence. For those of you who don't know, it's kind of a sequence of the movement of the body parts within the golf swing. Obviously it's still quite a new area for golf as a whole. Obviously there's TPI, 3D stuff, AAM stuff. There's some fantastic stuff done by Dr. Greg Rose. Mark Ball's another great one. You know, Paul Hurren's done a lot of stuff on this. You've seen the stuff with the force plates, the stuff, you know, the sensors will go on the body. What I try to do today is just kind of give it a little bit of a simplified version and kind of move it into putting and kind of what it means and what can happen in your stroke and why it breaks down and the reasons why it's something you should really, you know, look at doing. What we start with first is putting. Obviously, it's not a skill where you're trying to generate lots of power. It's all about being able to aim the putter, hit the putter, the ball on the intended line with the correct speed, and then from there make the correct break, and hopefully you'll make some putts. But what we're going to do, we're just going to look at it gently, you know, kind of in motion in pieces. I take my setup here. What happens is, you know, the only sort of force you've actually got to move off is the floor. So think as a general point, as my hips move, if my body grooves with it, obviously my club head moves faster than my hips, and obviously a sequence as it goes. What happens, to make it quite simple, when people do putt poorly or leave the one that comes short, and kind of, you could say the yips come in, you know, you feel like you go back and you have to kind of rush it. Just think like this: the hips and knees, you really want to stay still, you know, really, really still. We're not looking for a power source. We can take them away, makes things a lot simpler. Now just think of the chest and shoulders. If I sit up here, don't move my chest or your shoulders. Use something like the putting pendulum rod's a great example from my-line golf. If I pop that in, the relationship between my head and chest, my chest is actually the whole power source. I went back, I went through, my hands aren't doing anything. What happens is I can then transfer the energy from my chest, it's still maintaining, it's going through the arms into the club head, the sequence isn't being broken. What would happen if I actually started to putt and then started to you know, pull the handle forwards? All the energies I've got here is now being kind of pulled into that, the club head then sort of slows. And unless I then try and flip the club head with the right hand. So if you're someone who struggles, you know, leaves putt short a lot, think of this: if you can try and make the relationship between your chest and your putter head, stay consistent, you're going to get that amount of energy. If you want to hit it harder, guess what? If I stand here, move my chest really slow, and keep the relationship the same, the ball goes a set distance. However, I now stand here and keep the relationship between my club head and my chest. I turn the chest a bit quicker, ball goes further. It's exactly the same as the shoulders. If you're someone who feels like a putt with their shoulders, really keep the relationship with how your shoulders are moving and the putter head. Amazingly, you'll get this consistent movement. Have a play with it. Try and make that kind of kinetic chain. This is the reason why belly putters are getting banned. Do you imagine what belly putters do? They miss out part of the chain. You know, it doesn't, you know, from a simple maths point of view, if I miss out the middle chain, suddenly if I'm connected to my body and my putter head, guess what? There's less that can go wrong. You know, realistically, you'd have to look at that's kind of the reason why they've been banned, to make the game easier. Is it good or bad for the game? You know, that's not for me to say. That's for the powers that be. But, you know, for me, that's my take on it. Why it's been banned is because it misses that chain. Quite simply, it becomes suddenly, you know, upper body and head are connected, or the body and the head are connectable. Surely less can go wrong. We should make it a more consistent putter. But anyway, less on that. Have a work on that. Kinematic sequence, if you want to look it up. Some fantastic guys talking about it out there. Any questions as normal, just ask, send me a tweet, Ben Cummings Golf. Or, you know, just send me an email, ben@bencummings.golf.co.uk. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.